Well, yeah, welcome. What's the date today? Merry Christmas Eve, you guys. How the hell are you, right? It's cow shit, cow pie. It's Cowpo Radio. Going to work. Tweet this out here. Hashtag it. But, welcome. Yeah, let me see. Welcome to Cowpo Podcast. Oh, God dang it. It's cold here in Minnesota, but it is what it is. Nard. Alright, there we go. Anyways, thank you very much. Thank you very much. We are leaving the house, going to work. What's happening, everybody? Oh, I love snow, but it's the after effect, kind of like good sex, right? Then you get the knock on the door and she's pregnant, right? It's the after effect. It's like eating good food, you get fat, right? Winter jackets on. We're four-wheel drive on the poor side. Heading to work. What I love about the new dog, Coco Banana, the Pomeranian, she goes out on the deck. I open the door, she goes out and poop and potty and back in the cage with a treat. But yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody. And yesterday I went to Hoagie's in downtown Hopkins and watched on the dish, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, did a podcast. We got that little prejudiced little pig here in town here who was ripping on Jews and homophobes, and if Tom Barnard went after him, called him all kinds of names, he was still in business. You know, he's done it before, you know, or anybody else for that matter, he'd be fired. And, you know, again, Hitler's still hating from the grave for people, you know, because you're a gay person or something. That's their, you know, it's not illegal to be gay. It's not. I mean, well, you'll think it is, but I don't get that. But during the holiday season, you guys, won't forget our military and the armed forces away from their families this morning as you open gifts. There at some military installation, wherever it may be. We have a lot of IPs from foreign countries. I think a lot of our military men in the armed forces listening to the podcast. I appreciate them. They fought all the wars, Vietnam, Korea. They stormed those beaches in World War II. Without them, we don't speak in English. We don't have these podcast system, the iHeart. The Air Force, the Army, and the Marines, the Navy, the Merchant. The National Coast Guard, uniformed men and women who have come and gone and sacrificed. I bow to you and thank you for your service to this country during the holiday season and every day. Not just 4th of July, Veterans Day, every day. I always have honorary memory of the men and women in the armed forces and also the men and women blue, too, as well. And God bless the working class at 2:57 a.m. on the 24th day of the 12th month of 2022. We appreciate all your work out there and also make good choices during the holidays. Don't drink and drive. As George, the Delaware Stories always say, don't drink and drive. And safe sex. Thrill, trench cherry patch, blah, blah, blah. Put a condom, that's all we're asking. Anyways, as we cruise to the outskirts of Hopkins, heading for downtown, it's a beautiful day. It looks nice out. I mean, the snow's out and covered up all the poop, and we have a white Christmas. Christmas. The begging season will end here on YouTube, and it'll be in 10 more months after in January 1st in 2023. So Tommy B, after 36 years behind the mic, and he even said about 2 years ago, his bully puppet, I've done audios and videos on him before. I don't hate the guy. I worked with his brother, I think it was, I can't remember what it was at CDP. I don't know if he's still alive. Shorter guy. He was a nice man. He's cake, like I said, Cat and Kincaid. He was great on that. On WGY, he worked for Capital. Paid his dues. He didn't just come into KQ92 like there's a guy on KSTP here one time, a long time ago. I was bound and determined to work for KSTP. Oh, you got lucky. It doesn't work all the time. Common Man on KFan talked about it. Even Tom's talked about it, where he paid his dues. Got a great voice. You know. I've always said when his mother passed away, Toots, he lost his center. Because then he became to be this raging idiot and raging fool. He's just like Mike Tyson. Same thing. And Tiger Woods lost his father, cheated on his wife, cheated on the game, whatever else. You know, he had that. His wife was his. You know, his wife, his mother. His wife is his main thing. But now that he's going to go on his podcast. I have a podcast. I remember we exchanged messages one time about podcasting. I told him I was at podcasting at. He's got his own place now. That's a great thing. It's just him and his family. If I was Cumus Media, what are they going to do? I would, again, I've talked about in detail, and I've tried to tell the imbecile over there on Steel Told Tart Show. Lastman's out there in St. Cloud. I'd push that east, and I've told that to Lastman. You should get Terry Train on the show. She'd do it remotely. Just set her up. But he's always never really been in studio. That's why 93X rules. They had a little Christmas gift opening on the show, which would never happen on KQ. And they've dropped to number 6, the KQ Morning Show is, and he bitches that they did nothing for it. Well, all he did was tear that place down. I told that to Lastman. He's burning the place to the ground. If I was trashing my companies I work for, let's say working for Best Buy, I'm driving for Barnard's, and I'm on Facebook. You guys have shit equipment. What the hell? Well, it wouldn't last very long. I answered my wife, answered my boss. I answered you. He claimed he didn't hire and fire. When Terry Train, when he cut her loose, that was the end of the morning show. People loved her. Yeah, she'd be goofy, but she was all about being funny. He'd still be working. He stopped doing funny bits. What's his name? The guy, and Candace should be cut loose. When she starts talking about sex, you feel like you're listening to your niece. Okay? It's like, Jesus Christ. Tony Lee's a very good writer, horrible singer. Okay? His bits are funny. They got away from that behavior a long time ago. So he's blamed he's blamed them for the behaviors, of how bad it is. No, you burn that place to the ground and been disrespectful and whining to the management about this or that. That's what his problem has been. I don't know what they're going to do now. I would bring back Terry Train tomorrow, and I wouldn't mention him at all if I was them. I wouldn't mention him one bit. No voiceover work. He was an albatross around that station. The money they paid him. If you look at what's his name, I think he's passed now. Worked for CNN. This is a big talk show guy, Larry King. When he signed a big contract, they had to get rid of like 10, 15 people. It's a fact. And it's disgusting that he sits there and tells me he doesn't answer anybody. Because they said they made a thing that he's going to retire like Eben Maya, right? Eben Maya retired, but he's done. We've laughed, we've cried, and we've cried and we laughed. I understand, you're pissed off, Tommy, but it's the way it goes, bitch boy. Nothing lasts forever. It's the way she goes. You're down the road. There's nothing you can do about it. But it's just this whining and pissing and moaning and ripping on the management. After a while, that gets old. After a while, that's all they did. That's all he did was just whine and whine and whine and piss and moan, yell and holler and act like the world's coming to an end. I was looking at this driving by something over here, and the light rail over here in lovely and talented St. Louis Park. The total abomination of money here. I've never seen so much money ill spent on a project in my entire life. It's supposed to open 2027 now. It's just disgusting. Anyways, so this light rail's a joke. You know what that light rail should have been? It should have been a bus, just a right-of-way bus place. There's a place that goes from the University of Minnesota State Fair. The whole light rail should just been a buses only, and then you won't have to worry about all the other behaviors. Just buses go back and forth where they got to go with no interruption. So they should have done. They didn't do it. But anyways, to 36 years. Yesterday, he's done. I wouldn't do any voiceovers at all, or nothing. I wouldn't promote his podcast either. That was the worst thing they could have ever done when they had the podcast going, because then people are listening to other things, okay, besides KQ, because then they're not listening, that kind of stuff. It's the last thing you need. That was stupid. I mean, they promote. Hang on a second. They promote Spreaker.com in the evenings and in the overnights, and I appreciate that. And I don't understand that, but the more they promote Tom Barnard, well, then guess what? They're going to be listening to him. You know, it's like me. I own Burger King, but I'm eating McDonald's. If I'm selling Toyotas, I'm driving Toyotas. So when he was bitching and moaning, they're not going to promote you. But they promote his podcast, and I get money's money. That was blood money. That was their biggest problem. And all he did was promote his podcast, and a commercial of him and Mr. Perry from Journey and this or that, and I get it. It's just his family sitting around the table BSing, ripping on poor old Tommy. Now he's got to go over and do his podcast and beg for money, and he's very what's the word, passive aggressive, Bilski, and rips on Bradshaw and Bryant. And here's another thing is, he was whining. If I was there was that one guy, and he was from Minnesota, and I talked before, Taylor Swift put his hands on her ass in Denver. What an idiot, making $150,000 a year. So now he lost his lucrative job over on KQ. I'd have cut him loose 2 years ago. Now the lovely wife is going to be the sole bearer because he's downsized. If he's broke right now and doesn't have money to get an RV and disappear, he shouldn't even be podcasting. All the money he's made, he should be taking care of his grandchildren and running off and living off the interest. But he's always pissed and moaned when people like me speak out against the guy. He claims he doesn't like social media, but he needs social media to push out his podcasts. He needs it. He looks at Facebook. He does all the time. I guarantee it. But he'd whine when they go to KQ, and I heard that guy at 93X. It's the way it goes. You want to meet your customers. You want to go talk to the customers. It's just like signing autographs. You're a football, hockey player. We sign the jerseys, sign the sweaters. They put money. Appreciate them. You go to Vegas twice a year if you have to. So what? They pay for it. You have a good time. He's allegedly a big baseball fan. He should have been going to spring break for a whole week. Had twins involved. Timmy Laudner could bring baby Jesus, Joe Mauer in. That's where should have been going in the spring. They went overseas, and somebody got arrested downtown. He said exactly what I said. I wouldn't go over there. I go to St. Martin is fun. That's a great time. But wherever he went, and some chick got married because he pressured the groom into marrying her, and he was the best man. I felt sorry for the bride's dad when that happened. Remember that? She's jumping up and down. What's her name? Quit. She left, went over someplace else. He gets old all after that time. This guy, hey, he was a great radio guy. 9/11 audio is legendary. When I remember listening, I used to listen to him all the time. I listened to him a few times this week, and he didn't care. Just cut him loose. I mean, I had 6.5 years of comp time. My job a long time ago, I had 62 grand a year. I left. They would have cut me loose a year later. I only gotten 2. Yeah, hey, I work because I like to work and I enjoy it. The day my job became unfun, I leave. Why promote a racist pig who likes to piss and moan all the time? I'm sorry. I mean, hey, he was my inspiration to be a podcaster. I used to do voice all the time. I mean, I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Mr. Winsky. Yahoo, man. Man's bedroom, man. Me, it's cold with the kitty. Me, my gold is pissed and inch, whatever. I mean, I like doing voice. I think it's fun. He's very good at it. Very talented young man. But when his mom passed away, Toots, he went right downhill because his mom listened to the show probably. His sisters would probably yell at him, but that was his main objective. His wife keeps him in check. He's 71 years old. He's a decrepit old man, and it's a shame. He doesn't like when someone rips on the guy, but he'll do it on his show. he pisses and moans. Michelle DeFoy was a great host with him. Great. She left. You know, he cut her loose. Then he made some. You know, he always makes sly marks on her all the time. Oh, she's doing real good. She was and she opened her big mouth about our politics. Lost her job on football. She was, you know, too far right. But you know, he loved Trump. Is the guy, which is the worst thing to get hold of. So he just couldn't just do his voiceover work because he was bitching one time with Michelle about 3-4 years ago on the morning show, bitching that he lost a lot of his business. Well, if you're being a prejudiced little pig, yeah, I've cost some views on my NFL podcast because I don't like Trump, but I'm middle political. You know, I vote across company lines. I mean, he's still my pillow crap, which I wouldn't. My pillow guy, Mike wanted martial law in this state, and he's still praising that guy. Really, that guy's crazy. I wouldn't promote that guy on my show, but it's been a great run, and you know, hey, I enjoyed it the old days. But 93X, and we have really shitty radio in the morning here. The Evil Nabel 830 is pretty good. 1500 sold out to KST, sold out to ESPN, the Four Letter Curse. K-Fan, they talk over each other. Hockey screams. They have music in the background, so you're just constantly screaming. I will say about Tom Barnard, he's real good at shut up, but they're afraid to say anything. So now we'll see where it goes from here. Now they can freewheel, not worry about repercussions, being yelled at in between commercials. You trust me, that happens all the time. Trust me. So it's just beyond embarrassment, this behavior. But I get Cumulus. It's time to regroup. They're a small pond. You know, we'll see it happen in 93X. You know, the reason why people like that, they're old school. They sit around, joke around, waffle, and the girl. They have a good time. Don't take themselves that seriously. They bring on Jeff Passel comes on. I mean, what the hell is it? Jeff Passel? I can't remember when it comes on. Not Passel, but Randy Shaver comes on. And they BS, have some fun, talk about sports. You know, where Tom's a bandwagon rider, pisses and moans, everything's negative. I could dig his grave for him. Have a whole week of mourning in a gold casket, he'd still bitch. That guy could have married a infomaniac with a liquor store, hung with a brand new rope, and he still wouldn't be happy. He wouldn't. Never be happy. He's just constantly bitch. I mean, he's had life dicked. He whined about his father. Your father gave you your voice, and I get it, man. He grew up in Minneapolis, paid his dues, but Cumulus finally got smart. So you're done. It's over. I wouldn't have any voice work on the show at all. Ray Eric got let go because of salary. But I'd bring him back in the morning. Ray Eric, I would bring Ray Eric in the morning. Get rid of Candace. Bring in Terry Train. Get the band back together. It'd be epic. Ray Eric, because I know Ray Eric is on Facebook, always looking for work. Zepp, and bring him back. I don't mind Tony Lee, but his voice is just very dry, and he's not a horrible singer. They try to do bits, but that's why they were so good way back then. They did good work, but not anymore. But he won't be missed. He will not be missed. But he just pissed and moaned all the time about management openly. That's why they dropped down to 6. People, they didn't care about promoting. People just didn't come anymore because they didn't care. When he got Terry Train fired and cut her loose, that was the beginning of the end. Just like I worked at Perkins for years. When they brought the bakery in, which was dumb, and got rid of family restaurant, it was a slow drop for Perkins and then closing because they got rid of family. Family restaurants, huge. And I get, he always pissed and moaned about sex talks, but he always went below the belt. Sooner or later he did. You know, it's just, can't have both ways. I don't know. It's too bad. You know, 36 years is a long time, but he's going to do his podcast with his son, his daughter, his wife, you know, and the guy from Walzer who licks his undercarriage. You know, no one can. He's got to beg. Now go get sponsors and beg for money. You know, I get podcasting. Whatever I make a month on Spreaker, $50 a month, my YouTube account, no big deal. I work for a living. I feel sorry for people like that have to beg for money. That happens all the time on YouTube. People asking for this, asking for this, asking for that. Go ask for a raise. Go ask for a job. But he needs to just get an RV and just disappear with his wife, Catherine, and drive around the country. If this man is living check to check or doesn't have a good, solid retirement, then there's something wrong. You know, the reason why his wife married him when she was younger, she knew he had a ceiling to make money. She knew that. She's not dumb. She knew what she was marrying. You know, and I get it, but you know, he had life dicked in town. His bully pulpit, as he called it. But as soon as you're negative on him, he gets pissed. And you say something wrong on the show, they're on pins and needles. You can't say this, you can't say that. You know, he hired and fired. It was his show. They're like the podcast. Why do you name it after yourself? Tom Barnard. Call it the Barnard Family Podcast. I mean, do you yell your name during sex? I think it's weird, but I don't name it after myself. Strange, but I don't know. Real radio is still viable for people in cities. They want to get up, hear local people say something. Radios are still in cars. People like to push the button and listen to local. It's their comfort food. It's like chicken noodle soup, right? Clam chowder wherever you live. A cheeseburger, right? An omelet, you roll it. Your chicken and rice. If you're down south, collard greens. I'm not being collard green. My point. Ribs. You know, if you live from New Orleans, you want something spicy. Morning show. A morning radio is your comfort food. Okay, comfort food morning show. I don't know what you want to call it, but we don't. You know, they sold out KSTP. That's where you got to start from. I will give him credit. He wanted to have Jeff Dubay on his network and wouldn't take a drug test. And Jeff Dubay had a great voice. Just like Paul Allen was right place, right time when Jesse Ventura, I was a Navy SEAL, you know, when he got lucky and jumped in there and then, you know, but it's too bad our morning crews suck. And KSP used to have some really good people. I don't care about ESPN. I want to hear local people. That's why I like Chad Hartman on the Evil Navel at noon. He's really Evil Neighbor. And I also like Dan Barrero and Common Man. They know they're whatever they get, they'll take the money. They're just talking to microphone. How easy a job is that? Talking to microphone, make people laugh, take phone calls. Because when 105 The Ticket, that's still on that building too, The Ticket. I think it was. I drove by there. He would have his podcast in the afternoon and they'd simulcast it. I mean, they literally grew his podcast. Cumulus. I'm sorry. All you're doing is giving people other places to consume. So people would go listen to the podcast. Then listen to KQ. If I'm Cumulus, man, just don't talk about the guy. I don't care how much money he wants to give you for the podcast. Don't advertise. Start advertising KQRS on trucks again for morning show. The new morning show. On get a couple semis, whatever you want to do. Just start advertising. Start fresh. Ray Eric. Terry Train, and oh God, the hell his name is? Keep forgetting. I apologize. Zep, the Triple Treat morning show. But that's what I would do. It's not that tough to have a good morning show. That's your comfort food. You talk about stuff, read the news, talk about the local teams, bring on some guests, have some fun. Like when he have guests on, when he would fawn over people. Like, oh my God, you know, he could tell. But Terry Train, she was a ditz at time, but 36 years is a long time, and I appreciate all the memories, Tommy. I really do. But you dug your own grave, and you won't be missed. I'm sorry, you're no one's irreplaceable. There's always somebody next, and like 90 KSTP, it's 94.5. They've changed the morning crew over and over again. Mr. Ryan on KWB, don't care. That's mainly the young teens, rappers, whatever else. But they keep changing. You got to have a person that has a parasite, as long as you have a cockroach. You got to be funny. Not about you, it's about the people. Give some stuff out, have some fun. Go on your little excursions. They all come together in Las Vegas. Who cares in the morning? So what? You're being paid. They're sending you to Vegas. Should have kept on doing that. That would be a great time. And that was Party City, fine. Should have been a spring training, should have went. Not that tough. He loved the Twins, allegedly, right? Go to spring training every year. Didn't do it. Too stupid. You know, when he went overseas to, I can't remember what the hell that place is called. He didn't like it. I don't blame the guy. DV Little Bay is a great place to go. It'd be a great place for the radio thing because it's a nice island. You can walk into town. I can't remember who he went to. I wouldn't go there. And they got stuck down somewhere in, I think it was Carolina, but he came back on Sunday. He beat everybody back early. He came back American. I thought maybe it was, remember Sun Country was a hometown airline? Oh boy, but he comes back. Oh, I want them to do something. What is Sun Country going to do? They can't help it. It's called weather. Like he was all pissed. Yeah, you're back in studio. You leave on Sunday where all the idiots are stuck down there in Carolina. You're back in studio on American. And I thought Sun Country was your bitch boys. He's double standard. That's all he was. You know, say one thing, do the other. You know, it's what he was. Yeah, you know, hey, I appreciate all the work. A lot of fun in the old days. When your brother worked at CDP, it was fun. Loved you. It was great bits. A lot of you go to KQ, type it in. You know, your 9/11 call is epic. You know, Sansevier was nothing but a bootlicker. That's all he was, Mr. Negative. But you know, it's the way it is in town. It's hard to find comfort food. People that can talk about sports, news. People want to hear in the morning. When you do like the afternoon at the max too, it's like a podcast. Only have 2 people on your show, your host. You get 3 or 4, it's too many. But in the afternoon drive, like Miller, what's her name, the young lady? She's my favorite. Great voice. She's Lisa Miller. Lisa. Met her one time. Very nice, young, great voice. She does the drive time. She's good. You know, that's what they try to do. Zepp and Terry in the afternoon doesn't work. It's a morning thing. They went to KQ one time in the afternoon. Didn't work in Las Vegas. But, you know, it's he could have... The 93X guy was bitching. It's like, go, man. Go meet your customers. That is people put money in your wallet. That's who you go talk to. These people. That's who you talk to. People put money in your pocket. Plain and simple. It's not that tough. But, you know, it is what it is. 36 years later, it's a new era on KQRS here in town. I hope it works out for Cumulus, but who knows? We'll see what happens. If they can pull their head out of their ass and find some good morning guy. But K-Fan is just unlistenable. They talk over each other constantly. Constantly talk over each other. It's non-stop skullduggery. It's what they do. Yelling, hollering. Chris Hockey promotes his band all the time. You know, that's what he does. You know. I mean, Mike Morris was the best. I'd bring Mike Morris in. That's who I'd bring in. He'd be a great morning guy. Ask CCO if he can come on over. So that'd be kind of cool to have him on there with Zepp because he's funny. He's a local Viking. So, but that'd be cool. But I don't know. Who knows? Anyways, you guys. Well, good luck, Tom. On your endeavors, wherever you're going. Thank you for the memories. Hopefully, Cumulus can pull the head out of their ass, and they can have some fun, right? We'll see where it goes from there. So, who knows? But like I said, during the holiday season, think of the military and the armed forces of all the branches away from their family. When you're opening gifts tomorrow, whenever. We're going to have pizza tonight after our little thingamajig and have the time of our lives. So, anyways, guys, from the outskirts, we hope all is well. All right. Capo Podcast. Tom Barnard, good luck on all your stuff, all right? So, don't drink and drive. We always say part safe sex, right? All right, man, I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. So I'll talk to y'all later from the outskirts, all right? I'll see you later, everybody. You all be good. Cow shit, cow pie. Tommy, you behave yourself out there, huh? All right? Cold as hell. Oh, no. Take a picture. It lasts longer, and the crowd is on their feet. Let's see. Laughter. See you later. Happy trails, Tom. Get an RV. Enjoy your life. Peace, please.